Players you must draft in the NL Central. We'll give you one pitcher and one hitter. I'm Alan Seslowsky. He's Jeff Erickson. Let's start with the bottom of the division from last year's standings. Who are the Pirates hitters that you most likely to draft in your draft this year?
I like the Pirates third baseman, Brian Hayes. He had a wrist injury last year, which really tamped down his production. I think people are going to shy away from him a little bit because you look at his overall numbers and not look at the reasons why. Wrist injuries are terrible. They sap players' power. They sap their control. Usually there's a lag period from when a player comes back to when they're actually productive again. We've got the ultimate lag period now, Alan. So I think Hayes is going to be fully healthy. And if you're in third base is a position too, where if you don't get one of those top guys, he's a nice little pivot, and you get the bonus of some stolen bases there.
What's his ADP right now?
Roughly about 140 or so.
Is there a Pirates pitcher that you're finds his way on your roster?
Yeah, there's a couple. One's Chris Stratton, because I'm kind of doubting that they're going to go with David Bednar as a closer just because he's young and Stratton closed some last year. He's like free. You're getting him at pick 500. Another guy that's also pretty cheap, getting the last or penultimate round, is Mitch Keller. I don't want to get too caught up in hype videos, but he did have some interesting pitching videos this offseason. Throws hard. He just hasn't been able to put it all together. And he could be a disaster, but you're getting him for the right price. You could see a possible break. This is a guy with a big prospect pedigree. Take our chances with him. I don't want to belabor the point too much. He's an interesting dart throw.
Who's going to be your Chicago Cubs hitter that you must draft this year?
So the Cubs have a slew of older guys that are nonetheless rookies or second-year players. They got a chance last year with playing time. I get a lot of them, but Frank Schwindel is the one among them that I get the most. I like his chances of building off of what he did last year. High strikeout rate is the only concern. Makes me think that that batting average might be an issue, but there's power. Last year, he won. He was a very helpful cog as a pickup. I found myself getting Patrick Wisdom at times, getting Ian Happ, who had a big second half, and also Rafael Ortega, who has some late speed. So all these guys are, with the exception of Happ, are older guys, yet unpolished, untested guys. They might all turn into a pumpkin, but the Cubs don't really have a whole lot in the way of prospects banging on the door that are ready right now. They have Brennan Davis. That's only one guy, but I think he's going to take away Jason Hayward's spot, not these other guys.
Considering ADPs, who's going to be the Chicago Cubs pitcher that is most attractive in these drafts?
I'm going to credit Jason Collette in his bold predictions article. He's calling for Codi Heuer to be the guy that gets the most saves for them. You're getting Codi Heuer really late too, in the 400s somewhere there. He changed a little bit of how he pitched when he came over to the Cubs, and the trade from the White Sox was hurt some, so we didn't really get to see him at full capacity, but I think he's going to be a guy that gets a chance over Rowan Wick eventually. And again, you're not paying anything for him. This is a reserve round dart throw to see if you can get some saves.
There's got to be a Cincinnati Reds hitter that you like somewhere in the middle rounds that has some sneaky value.
So it's kind of funny because we did Reds cast about a month ago. Doug Dennis, Jenny Butler, and of course Clay Link joined me. We all kind of talked how a lot of the Reds hitters are actually a little too expensive for our liking. But I will go with two names here to throw out here as a price. One's Tyler Stephenson. I think his price varies. I've seen some places where he's going like 125 or so, which I don't like. I got him in another draft, though, in labor at 175, which as my second catcher, who's going to get a lot of playing time as the DH, too. If you're going to go real deep here, Nick Senzel for the cost. I look at him as someone that has a chance to, fulfill his potential that has heretofore been untapped. He's been hurt a lot. He's been bouncing positions a lot. That still could all happen again this year, but now you're not paying premium prices for him.
Who's the Reds pitcher that you like?
Little play for Sonny Gray. He might get traded. He's not going to get traded to the Yankees. I think we know that. But if he sticks in Cincy, that's fine too. Third, your starting pitcher 3, starting pitcher 4 for your rotation with ace potential.
If the Cardinals are going to make a push for the division this year, who's the bat that you like the most to get him there?
I really like Dylan Carlson. More than held his own as an age 22 player last season. Was often getting reps at leadoff. If you're hitting leadoff ahead of Goldschmidt, ahead of Arenado, that's a pretty good spot to be. I don't know if he runs. That's the one thing I'm not sure about in his projection, but I like the batting eye skills. Everything improved incrementally across the board. I expect another year incremental improvement, and that puts him as a guy that you're picking around the 11th or 12th round in a 15-team mixed league that you're probably getting 7th or 8th round value. I like guys like that a lot.
You paying up, or are you waiting for value on a Cardinals pitcher?
It's not a starter. I will pay for Giovanni Gallegos. I did a little bit more digging on him. At first I was a little wary just because I didn't think the Cardinals would guarantee him the job, and they still might not. But you're looking at Jordan Hicks as someone they want to start, not close. And Alex Reyes lost the job last year. Meanwhile, Gallegos' skill set is better. He's a really good pitcher, and they have a new manager this year too. So they might not do as much of a committee thing as they did last year. So I like Gallegos. If you miss out on the first and second tier of closers, I like him at the top of the third tier.
Last year's champs, the Brewers, they had a lot of big hitters. Who's your favorite one this year?
I like going back to the well and Willy Adames. A lot was made out of his Tropicana versus non-Tropicana field splits, and I think it's true. His sight lines were bad for him. He came, after the trade to the Brewers, he really sprung, and you're not paying really for that full price. You're not going to get a ton of stolen bases. That's one negative about Adames. If you want to get stolen bases from your shortstop, I get that you might be a little wary of him. I would rather get the quality of the player and just find my stolen bases elsewhere. Hopefully by the time you pick Adames, which is somewhere around 150 to 180, you've already acquired some stolen bases, so that's less of a concern. I do like him. I think he's someone that's worth your time.
Are you going to pay up for the aces on the Brewers, or are you going to look for more of a reliever?
All of the above. Get all the Brewers pitchers. I love how Craig Counsell manages his pitchers. Our buddy Bernie Pleskoff always talks about how good Counsell is, and I think he's right. But I will pay for Corbin Burns. I'll pay for Woodruff. I'll pay for Peralta. I have done so in all my leagues already. I will also go deeper. I will go with Aaron Ashby. I will go with Eric Lauer. I will go with the closer, Josh Hader. I will go with Devin Williams, even as the top setup guy. I like all these pitchers, Alan, and I just think that they all have a chance to provide value, and I don't think they're getting priced up too much. So I'll pay up and I'll pay down for the Brewers pitchers.
Since you watched this video to the end, everybody's waiting for your NL Central prediction. Who's going to win this division this year?
It's going to be the Brewers. They're going to be turning up the heat again.
To see all of our other divisional previews, click the links in the video description below. To see all of RotoWire's premium fantasy baseball content, including our draft kit free, go to rotowire.com/try.